About moving and you want to learn about what everyday life is going to be like in your new town, this is the place for you. On Open House, we sit down with local, top producing real estate agents to help you find the best places to live in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. So if you don't want buyer's remorse and you want to find your dream town, we are here for you. So go ahead and book a free call with us and we'll help guide you to the area that is right for you. Now, let's jump in and learn about your new home. I'm excited to bring on Kanwar Sodhi, who is going to be talking to us about Old Town Alexandria. So, all right, Kanwar, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? What do you like about being in real estate? And yeah, how long have you been in the business?
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for having me on, Jonathan. I appreciate it. I've been in real estate just a little over 3 years. Comparatively, in the timing business, I'm new, but in terms of experience, I'm like 100 years old. I'm on an amazing team, probably the best team in the country, where we have an unlimited amount of work and access to people to help and serve. And so what it comes down to for us is helping and serving others. And that's why I got into real estate. I was in medicine. I finished med school, got my degree, and switched into real estate because I felt it was an easier access for me to get to people faster and be able to help them in a different way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I think that's super true in terms of your team being one of the best in the country. I mean, you guys are the definitely number one team in Virginia. I think on the East Coast, you might be the number one team as well. And so, yeah, I think the team is doing about 1,000 transactions per year. How many transactions are you doing a year?
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point. Last year we helped 1,250 people plus. This year we're on pace to help more. Myself personally, last year I helped 57 in families. This year I'm on pace to help more. So always just coming from the mindset of who can I get access to, who can I provide the best services to, right? So everybody needs the help. It's just a matter of getting in front of them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and dive right into Old Town Alexandria. So, could you tell us just a little bit about overall what the culture is like, what the city's like? How would you describe it?
I love Old Town Alexandria. If I could be reborn in a city, town, it would be Old Town. It's got a little bit of everything from something to give to all ages. So if you're energetic, you like to go run, we've got parks, right? So we have the waterfront park, we've got Founders Park, all by the water. You can sit, relax. If you're at the time in your life where you just want to go eat restaurants all day, I mean, we have restaurants all along the water, up down street. Some of the more popular ones would be the Landini brothers. We've got Mia's Italian Kitchen, some of the newer ones like Warehouse. One that's been along for a while is Il Porto. And then also 219 Restaurants, so one of the top restaurants in the area. And then one of my top favorites, just 3 streets down from King Street, is Oak Steakhouse. So I love steak, and I'm always there. It's a problem, but I don't want it to be solved. So, and then if you're at the time in your life where you just want to relax, you get a condo overlooking the water where you can kind of look out to the right to see National Harbor, look out to the left and see DC and all the memorial statues and all the fun buildings that you can see. So you can kind of dive into history looking left and right. So it's got a little bit for everybody. Right?
Yeah. Actually, I mean, the way you're describing it sounds like it's got a lot for everybody, right? I mean, because if you want history, you're in the heart of things. If you want to be, in the heart of the, heart of the country, really, as it relates to, politics, and as it relates to the economics or the economy as well, that's there. And, within just a couple seconds, I mean, you're there. You mentioned a ton of awesome restaurants that, you're not going to find anywhere else. So that's a great snapshot of Old Town. just for the sake of, you know, giving folks some context as to where Old Town is, about how far is it from DC?
Oh, good question. So, being where it is, it allows access to a couple different things. So, if you want to take the ferry into Maryland, into DC, that's about probably a 15-minute ferry. People dock their boats, right, or their yachts. You can take a 2-minute free bus ride to the metro, which in about 17 minutes will get you into DC. 3 minutes before that, there's a stop into the airport, which will take you to anywhere in the world. And then you can drive there. George Washington Parkway will get you there. I think it's about 6 miles, right? And on a good day, that's 15 minutes. On a more busier day, that's about 22, 25. So you do have massive access in all different facets and all different ways to get to DC. I mean, you could walk there if you wanted to. There's actually a trail underneath the bridge, and we run there all the time. My team and I, we do the Army 10 miler every year. And part of that is kind of going through DC from Virginia and Old Town. So Arlington, Old Town, DC, and back. You can close your eyes and get to DC in any way possible you want.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's very cool. I know there's a ton of people always running along the river and in the parks whenever I pass through. And of course, I mean, we're talking about DC, and we're talking about the airport being only a couple minutes away as well. But that being said, I'm sure a lot of folks actually work in Old Town. There's a ton of businesses there, and probably near. Well, where are some of the other like sources of jobs and sources of places where people work nearby?
It's almost like a micro economy in Old Town. So you do have the courthouse, you do have physicians' offices, you do have restaurants, you have volunteer work. So if you're feeling frisky and want to get out and help people, why not, right? So you can volunteer your time. So it's almost like there's a micro economy, white collar, blue collar work, all within the 6 blocks, right, in the square. And to be very honest, Jonathan, like very much of the other side, the rest of the country, it is a lot of remote work. And you'll see people honestly like sit by the water and just work, and then grab lunch and then go back. Some people will sit on their rooftops, overlook the water again, or talk to their neighbors and just talk about work. Maybe they're in the same industry. So in terms of job access, being that we're so close in vicinity to DC, you have jobs there. You have Arlington, where you have your top, your defense contracting companies. You have Boeing, you've got Deloitte, you've got all the finance companies within 13, 14 minutes away.
Sure.
Again, same highway. So there's no shortage of opportunity for jobs, right? You could be at the age of 18, work your way up in a restaurant, hit 25 while you're in college and nearby, get a job in finance, work your way into politics in DC, and then retire right at the edge of the water.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, speaking of college, curious for folks who are coming in with families, small and large, young and old. What are the schools like in the area? Do you primarily have a lot of private schools? Is that where folks tend to send their children? Is it primary public? Is there charter, magnet schools? What do you guys have over there?
In terms of schools, we have a community college, Nova. So when you attend Nova, you get access to all different types of education. Your STEM research is there. You then can also go to George Mason. Great sports team, highly accredited. And then nearby local elementary, middle schools. You have Cranmer Elementary. You've got Eden Middle. And then some of the more popular sought after high schools would be like Hayfield High School and Edison High. So those are all in the vicinity you have access to. And honestly, it really does come down to the community that you're in.
Sure.
And the community will support you in making sure that regardless of the school you go to, everybody wants their kid to be successful. And when you have like-minded people nearby, it doesn't matter the school. It's who you surround yourself with. And in Old Town Alexandria, you're surrounded with people that all are achievers and successful and want their best for their families.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Iron sharpening iron effect.
There you go. Yeah, and then also in DC, again, because of the access to DC, you do have access to George Washington University.
Sure.
The other big scholarly school is Georgetown University, right? So there's no shortage of good schools, good people, good access nearby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. And when you're done working, when you're done going to school, of course, you want to have some time to relax and spend some time with friends and whatnot. We talked a little bit about some of the parks and some of the restaurants that are nearby. What are some of the other things that folks like to do in the evening and on the weekends when they're wanting to relax and enjoy themselves?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So if you set apart time from like the work and the hustle and all that, on people's free time, they honestly, in Old Town Alexandria, it's very people friendly and it's just commuter friendly. So you walk around the streets. Saturdays in Old Town, they block off the edge of King Street, and they always have festivals or like tents set up for like little markets. And it's really cool. It's a lot of fun. Sometimes they have music. Sometimes they have a gentleman that does like magic tricks to fool all the kids. Honestly, he's good enough to fool me.
Sure.
It's a lot of fun. I will say that there's something to do at all times. It's not a quiet city. It's like a mini New York or Chicago, built right into Northern Virginia. Other fun things to do would be again going jogging, going running, stay energetic. There's a lot of now because of all the energy coming in, and they have a lot of fun smoothie places. You go grab a protein shakes nearby. Gyms. I've been going to Orange Theory Fitness on King Street, minutes away from me, for 3 years. Okay, I put myself through that for 3 years. No, but it's Orange Theory Fitness is a great gym. F21, great gym. So what do people do in their free time? They find ways to develop themselves, right?
Sure.
You work, you develop yourself. You're working out. You're developing yourself. You go meet people at parks or hang out. You're building your social life. There's always something to do. And at the end of the day, because of the structure of the buildings and the brick and the sound barriers, if you just want to sit in a quiet place and don't want to hear anything and watch TV by yourself, you can do that. The structure and the strength of the town allows that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of the nice things that I've noticed as well about Old Town is that you've got a really great blend between this city and the greenery that's there, right? A lot of trees and things of that nature. So that's awesome. And then, of course, folks want to know about the real estate market in particular. And of course, as an agent, you're the perfect person to talk about that. So let's go ahead and dive into that. What's the kind of the typical price point for, let's say, a condo, a townhome, and a single family home in Old Town Alexandria? And I know there's going to be some caveats as it relates to seeing the water, being on the water, but if you can kind of run us through that, that'd be awesome.
There's two main things you want if you want to take advantage of the water. Everything. So there's a townhome, for example, on sale right now. 4 bedroom, 3.5 bathrooms, overlooking the water, $3.5 million. The same area for 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom condo, $550,000. And if you're looking for a single family house in the vicinity, you're looking to be close in Old Town around 1.5, 1.8, about 6 streets in. It's a very healthy market. It's a growing market. And I bring that up to share that it's one of the very few markets that normally given any drop down in the market, so we can call it a recession or whatever, we're very recession proof because it's very sought after. It's less about the money. Honestly, it's about location.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think with all of the different sources of jobs and whatnot, whether that be the governments or some of the larger corporations that are there, it's if you were even considered or worried about the economy or something of that sort, you got a ton of security in that as well. But I'm sure even with some of the clients that you've had, there's a lot of folks who have a ton of equity in their homes, right? I mean, it's not like it's 2008 where everybody was like totally capped out and using their houses as ATMs. I think it's been quite a bit different for us as of lately, wouldn't you say?
I would absolutely agree. I mean, if you look at 2007 and 8, Old Town Alexandria was very minutely hit. It doesn't get affected much. Even if looking at the market now, you're in a micro market where it's so sought after that you're always going to have equity. Okay. It's normal in any given market to have like, a small 3-4% drop. But in the long scheme of things, values always go up in those areas.
Yeah.
I recall a few months ago, there was like, an investor of mine that there was a duplex that came on the market, and I had to go up against 15 people to win that duplex for him. We did win. Again, I'm really good at what I do. I know how to negotiate. And
Cool.
competing with 15 people, we got that.
That's
done.
awesome.
Yeah, and it's an Old Town Alexandria duplex. So if you're looking for a single family condo townhome for yourself, or a multifamily to invest in for the long run, that's where you want to be.
Yeah, no, that's great to hear. And also, like, one of the things that makes me wonder is, given the all the transactions that you've been through, and kind of given some different experiences that you've had that have been unique. What are some of the tips that you would give to, or maybe just one tip that you would give to somebody who's moving into that market, who's looking to get to compete in that kind of market? What would you give?
Yeah, so I have about 4 tips, right? Tip number 1 is call me.
There you go.
Yeah,
Sure.
and tip 2, 3, and 4 is to follow tip 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sure.
You want to ideally first think about what lifestyle you want to live, right? Do you want to be in the inner Old Town, where it's a little more noisy people? Because if you're coming from DC, if you're coming from New York, Chicago, Austin, where you're used to that, you want to identify closer areas, right?
Mhm.
If you're looking to be a little more quiet, suburban, if you may, you kind of come outside of Old Town a little, and there's plenty of nice areas, right? So there's other pockets, right, in Old Town at the tip called, for example, Del Rey, Mount Vernon Street. It's a lot of restaurants, a lot of festivals, a little pockets. Those are the very few. And again, that's the same thing as Old Town. You're about 10 minutes out, but it's quieter, and it's a little less expensive. But the trade-off is location, right? So if you want to be a little bit further out, absolutely, I can help you find something that's a little less per month, but you get the same access. So yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a great tip, because part of your work as an agent is helping folks find where they want to be, and that's like immensely more easier when your clients know exactly where they want to be. And I think that's part of the benefit of having these types of videos, and that's why we have this channel, is because we're helping folks know exactly where they want to be by giving them this information. And I think that you've done a great job about that, telling folks what exactly they can expect in Old Town Alexandria. And I think you're absolutely right. Once you know exactly where you want to go, then you got to connect yourself with somebody who is a local to that area, who's an expert in that area, in the trenches, and can help you navigate those waters, especially during this time when things are competitive, but also any time in the market. There's always a great need for expertise. So, Kanwar, definitely thanks for sitting down with me and running us through Old Town Alexandria, and we'll definitely talk soon.
All right. Cheers, man.